Hello and welcome back to the vlog. Today we are going to be doing a quick behind the scenes of an episode. We're just going to be recording an episode of Subnautica, episode 27, I think. So what I thought I could do is give you guys a look at how it all works. Basically, I would like to begin with an aside. Yes, I need a haircut. Yes, it looks ridiculous. No, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't do a Scott Pilgrim put a hat over it. I'm wearing headphones. If I could, I would. Yeah, so basically what we have here is a desktop PC. It is a fairly powerful PC. I'm not going to go through the specs because 6 months is going to change. We have a laptop. In fact, the laptop is there. That is just a separate screen showing me stuff from the laptop. I've got a keyboard and mouse for the laptop. I've got a keyboard and mouse for the desktop. Fairly straightforward. The audio from both devices, both machines, goes through a mixing desk which is down there. It's a Xenix 802, and both audio streams come back through the headphones. It means I can record video on the desktop, and I can record audio on the laptop, and never the twain shall meet. So I don't have to worry about audio and video contaminating each other, having a file with me speaking over game audio, but the game audio is too loud and there's nothing I can do about it. So having two separate files is really, really good. This is not the most efficient way of doing it. I know you can use things like virtual audio cable. We tried it, it sucked. So this is the most robust way that we've come up with. It also means I'm recording audio in Mumble rather than Audacity or Soundbooth or anything like that. The reason for that is Mumble's really good at cutting out room noise, things like fans from the PC and some wind noise and road noise. It also means if I'm using one bit of software to record audio, that if we're doing a live stream with James or whatever, I don't have to set up different bits of software to do different things. So one bit of software, keeping it simple. The other, what am I doing? The other thing. Oh yeah, the elephant in the room. The audio is being recorded on a Samsung C01U. C01U. Wow, I actually could see it. I couldn't see it behind the pop shield. Pop shield is to remove like spoken wind noise, P's and T's and things like that. Anything that's just going to hit the microphone. Good microphones, not very expensive, and it's USB, so you don't need a DAC, a digital audio card, like an external amplifier. You can just plug it straight into whatever device you have. For me, it's the laptop. Good, I think that's everything. Oh, it's not everything. There is one more thing. I just punched the microphone. Great. The way we control the laptop, because I use push to talk. So if I need to sneeze or something goes on outside, like a dog starts barking or whatever, I can take my foot off the pedal and you don't get the sound. The pedal is just literally a USB foot switch. It's just a Chinese USB foot switch from Amazon. They are really, really quite good. So I think that's kind of all the technical stuff. I mean, there's other things. There's a Sega, there's webcams, there's lights and things, but don't need to know any of that. The first thing I'm going to do, because this is Subnautica, I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to check the comments. One of the lads, Krampus Claus, in the comments does take time to write very detailed hints. He doesn't go through and spoil things, but he does take the time to look at to write down hints. And I've been reading through this. There's no script. There's no script and there's no plan. The only other plan that I have is to record at least 30 minutes for an episode. 25, 30 minutes for an episode. Maybe because it's the weekend, 50 minutes. Otherwise, yeah, we just go in cold. Although he's saying we could go to LifePod 2 in the game and we could find a bunch of resources for upgrading one of our in-game vehicles, which is kind of cool, but there might be something down there that's quite scary. I'll do it. It's fine. There are sort of safe options, but you have to understand that you are playing games to, kind of entertain yourself, but also you need to entertain people watching. So sometimes you need to do something a little bit scary. Subnautica, it's underwater. I'm kind of a little bit worried about that. Otherwise, the first thing I am going to do to get this all set up, because this is a 1610 screen, I'm going to just change the resolution to 16:9. Keep changes. I'm going to be using OBS. Cancel because it's already running. Set to Subnautica, and then I'm going to just start Subnautica from Steam. So that's running. Good. Audio is already getting picked up. I'm just going to turn the audio down. So I can turn the in-game audio down on the mixer, which means I don't need to change, if the game is too loud, I don't need to change it up and down actually in the game, because that would affect the recording. I'm going to just hit play, and then I'm going to click on my current save. Good. So that is going to load in. It's currently loading in off a terabyte SSD, so it should be fairly quick, but Subnautica is... Oof. It's a bit of a... I wouldn't say it's a resource-heavy game, but the loading time can... like 30 seconds for loading. Anything that I need to do in the meantime... So if I needed to check anything on the internet, I can always bring it up on the laptop. I've got a full keyboard and mouse. I don't need to fiddle around with a phone. Phones are all right for kind of casually checking Facebook when Facebook's not broken, but I don't know. 25 seconds. I'm already getting in-game audio. Sounds like we're on the Cyclops. 32 seconds, 33. So it took 33 seconds to load in, and now we're actually in the game. So what I'm going to do is just familiarize myself with the game itself. Okay, right. We're on the Cyclops. There's plants and stuff clipping through the machine itself, but that's not a problem. I don't really want to start here. So what we're going to do is head back to the house. Only because I know I can switch it from night to day. It's night in-game at the moment, and I'd like to start it off during the day. Okay, so we are now back in the base. I need to start the video recording, so I'm going to tab out and tab into OBS. So Open Broadcast Software. I can see that there is a waveform at the bottom of the screen, which means in-game video is being recorded. I've got a picture, so that's good. I'm going to hit start recording. I'm already recording in Mumble, so I can see the file has been created, but that's because I'm talking to you guys. Normally I would start that now. I need to tab back into the game. So recording is happening. Then I need to do a sound sync check. I often forget to do this bit, which for some reason is only Subnautica that I forget to do it with, but I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to go back, save, options, quit, back, save, feedback, quit, back, save, options, quit. Donezo. But there's one thing I'm going to do is just really loudly hit mouse button 1 while I hit back to game. That gives, sometimes that's actually cut out during the audio edit, but it does give me a chance to get like a pinpoint. I guess you align the mouse click up with the button state. So, there's all of that. And now it is becoming daytime. Audio is fine. Recording is happening. I've got the information from the lad in the comments. So what is left to do is just start playing the game. Hello and welcome back to Subnautica. You join us on another beautiful day in paradise, underwater paradise. Last time we started building ourselves an aquarium. But you know what? I think I'm going to leave it there. So if you're liking this series, definitely leave a like, leave a subscribe. And if you do subscribe, definitely click on the little bell, because YouTube will then give you a notification when a video goes live. And you know what? I will catch you next time. So we finished the recording. We got to the end of another episode, and basically all I need to do now is tab out, stop the recording. Cool. I can. Well, I would normally stop the audio recording, but you guys are actually on the audio recording, so that's a little bit tricky. I will save the game. Hit save, and it will do that. Sometimes I have exited a game and forgotten to save it. That's a pain in the butt, because the only thing you can do at that point is play back to the point you were and hope nobody notices. Fine, so we're donezo here. We can hit quit. Okay, so I've copied the audio files across on a pen drive from the laptop. What I need to do now is quickly edit them in Audacity. So if I bring up video record and record is actually on C drive, video record is on D drive. One's a 4 terabyte storage drive, the other one is the C drive. The reason I record video to the C drive is because if Windows does something stupid like park a disk or whatever, there isn't a moment of lag on the video where the disk has to come back online. It's a little bit tricky, but whatever. I will delete the last recording. There we go. Let's do that, and then copy these across whilst starting up. Let's go Audacity. There we go. The reason I use Audacity is because I've always used Audacity, and I've got a bunch of plugins that work really well with it. So I will take the game audio, just throw that in. It's going to take a second to render across. Hit Files, hit Subnautica, and find Subnautica in OBS. So what is it now? It is. So if we hit copy of that, change the name. So it is now Subnautica. Instead of May 08, it is June. Yeah, GUN and 01. So the first recording is 01 of a month, the second is 02, 03, 04. It's just the game name plus the month plus whichever recording we've done. So I'll copy that across, and that'll start copying whilst I get the game audio cleaned up. So I'll just double click on it, hit effect, hit compressor. The compressor on spoken audio is done to bring up areas of quietness to match areas of loudness. So it essentially just levels all the audio. So I'll just hit OK. That's going to think about it. And in the meantime, the actual video is copying across the other drive. So what I'll do is I'll move everything across. Once it's here, then I can start editing it. Audio cleanup it doesn't take too long, but it is one of those things that's kind of a pain in the butt initially. We used to use the Sennheiser PC350. We used to use the microphone built into the headset, and you get pops and clicks, and you get people breathing on the microphone and stuff. They are good mics, but nowhere near as good as a condenser mic. So the compressor's done. Then I'm going to go to noise gate. So you compress, hit noise gate. Level reduction is -100. Gate threshold is -23, and the tactic delay is 200. And I'll run that. What that's going to do is that's going to find anywhere between words, and that's just going to flatten that area out. Sometimes it'll take the end off a sentence, just like a tenth of a second or something. But it also takes out any room noise that wasn't taken out by mumble, any sort of mouth noises and stuff. A lot of that is taken out there. So what we are going to do now is hit compressor. Compress. So we compress a second time. So it's compress, noise gate, compress a second time, and that second time is going to take this sort of waveform, and it's going to look more like a bar once we're done with it. I have heard, I think it was Barry from Game Grumps, say that they compress the shit out of their audio, and that's basically what this is. It's not like zip compression. It's completely the opposite. And if you've ever wondered how people on the radio have that sort of really warm, bubbly tones, that's again because the audio has been hugely compressed. So we've got noise gate. We'll do pop mute. So any of these bits which are touching the very edge, they're going to get pulled in. So any pops, clicks, they'll be taken out at this point. And then the last one is Spitfish de-esser. So I've got it set to about, 10 o'clock on both dials. Hit apply. And what that'll do is it'll sense any harsh sibilance. So that's that sort of if you've ever listened to an advert on the radio and someone's talking and they're using S a lot, and it's very high-pitched, very sort of cutting, almost like glass, this gets rid of it. And it doesn't normally happen, but it just makes it, more comfortable for anyone listening. So we have cleaned up our audio. Done. Donezo. I will hit export. I will find Subnautica, because the last one was Stranded Deep, so it's the last one we were on. Mayo. It's not May anymore. It's June. Jun. Whenever I talk about typing around the microphone stand, this is kind of what I have to deal with. So June 1, Donezo. Clear the metadata because we don't need metadata, and then it exports. So because we used OBS to record and we used a really high bit rate, OBS records as a it records as a constant bitrate file or a CBR file, which means when you put it into Premiere, Premiere is just going to say, yeah, that's okay. If you use Shadowplay, it records as a variable bitrate file. When you need to run it through Handbrake to turn it into a constant bitrate file. It's just one of those little things. So speaking of Premiere, what we're going to do is open up Premiere, and we have the last episode. So we have episode 26 here. The reason we open up the last file, or the last file for the last video we did, is because we're going to reuse parts of it. We have saved it already as episode 27, so Subnautica _027. We will click at the very end. We have imported the MP4 and the WAV. That has had an effect. That's created a peak file for the audio. The reason I did that kind of off camera, because it takes a while to do that, and it's, we need to keep this fast. So what we'll do is we've got the little scrubby bar, it's off to one side. We will drag in the audio and the video, and then we will zoom right in on it. The reason for that is because if we click here, we need to make the game audio -5, and we need to make the spoken audio +2 decibels. So we'll do that now, +2. And then in-game audio -5. The idea is that here, this green bar that goes up and down the side, if I just hit the space bar, whoa, I'm talking to myself. So the in-game audio is around the -30 mark, and the spoken audio is about as close to the top as you can get without it peaking or clipping or crackling or doing stuff like that. And what we can do now is zoom right in. I will just mute myself on the thing by clicking this button here, and then I'm going to find where we did the sync check, which is here. Okay, hold down Alt, mouse wheel, scroll in. Fine, we will get to it, and it is, where do we start? Here, I think. Bam. Okay. So I put a little cut there. I use, you can use C and V to switch between the razor and just the pointer. And then we need to listen to ourselves a second. So, okay, that took a little longer to find the normal because I was talking to the camera, and you don't normally do that. You normally leave a little space. But if I just hit here, I can hear that I'm doing the in-game audio check. So all I need to do is find where we go hello and welcome, which is probably here. Which is here. Hello and welcome. So you start there, press C, hold down Shift, click, grab everything beyond before that, hit delete. Donezo. Then we can come towards the end and find here, I think. Okay, so we're at the end of the recording. This has been a little bit more complicated because I had to talk to the camera as well, and it's kind of at this point here, there's a lot of dead air. That's when I hit record at the end of the thing, because the camera only records like 15 minutes. It's a DSLR. But I'll do hit Shift, delete, pulls everything over, and I'll do a cross. That is completely wrong. C, where is C? Cross dissolve, just pop that in there. And then a fade, exponential fade there. There we go. So next time is there. Hit C. Delete everything. V. Highlight. Press delete. Done. So that there, this block here, is the entire episode. What I can do now is highlight the previous episode. Where are you? Where are you? And then just press delete. Done. Move everything across, knowing that we've... if we highlight it like that, we can just slide everything across. These bits at the end, so these bits here are the outro plates and various bits and pieces. What I'll do is grab those, move them to the very end of the video. If you want to know how to do this in more detail, there is a So You Want to Make a Gaming Video Channel, and actually front page of the channel itself, and you can watch those. They're a little bit out of date, but it basically covers all of this in greater detail. So we need this here. So this bit up here is a sort of a static outro. This is there's a little bit of footage that plays whilst the music is playing, and everyone's got the click here to subscribe stuff. So what we'll do is we'll find something interesting. In our recording, where did we go? We went to, oh boy, it was really dark down there. It was really, so we went to the, where did we go? Underworld of the game, and it was a very spooky place. So what we'll do, we got 194203, we'll 42, 32, 22, 23, because we need 19 seconds. So we'll go like that, click there, click that, Control C, Control Z a couple of times, and then paste it here. Paste, hello, unlink, because we don't need the audio, so we unlink the audio, get rid of it. Click, and then add a point, change the opacity beyond that to 0, so we have 1 second of fade in. Motion is 494, 252, and 36.3 scale. So that now fits in there. Press delete the last one. Drop that down. Okay, so that's the outro done. Intro is here, and what we're going to do is get rid of 26. Put 27 in its place, find push, P-U-S-H, and then put that in 27, click on it, and then press down, so that 27, okay, cool. So presents and 27, they go off in different directions, and then Subnautica will just zoom backwards. They are actually PNGs. All of this is a PNG, because I don't like using Premiere's in sort of like built-in text rendering. I've never been a fan of that. I prefer doing it in Photoshop, because things like drop shadow are just easier to do, and there is a subtle amount of drop shadow on the 27 as well. So that's the intro sorted. That's the outro sorted, but there's a tiny problem. We don't sleep in this episode, which is interesting, because normally I would just put a cut and then bring out some of the bit where the game's kind of loading forward almost, and just get rid of that. So there are subtle things we can do. What I will do is when the game starts to get a bit dark, around here, we go into a cave. All right, so we'll back up, and I'm just holding left mouse button, I'm just kind of scrubbing along at the moment. We get in the car and start driving forward about here. So what we'll do is we'll zoom in using Alt and the mouse wheel. And there we go, start moving. I'll put a cut there, so press C, put a cut there. And then scrub forward until we come out of that area, because it's really dark. And if you're viewing this, it's going to be super dark. Did we go back down? No, we didn't. So we'll scrub back until, zoom in, until the world changes about there. Okay, fine. So I'm going to just press V, get the pointer, get the pointer, move that up, hold down Alt, move it down. So we have this extra bit of footage, but this is essentially this footage here, just layered on top of each other. and I'm going to hit opacity, and I'm going to hit screen. And that just makes it brighter. So if I turn it off and on and off and on, it just means that it's brighter for the viewers. It's kind of like upping the gamma slightly. And I'll type in film dissolve, one on one end, and one on the other end. So that means that effect is subtle, but it just kind of fades in over, how long does it fade in? 25th of a second. So it fades in and fades out over 25th of a second. Chances are, if you're watching that on a phone or whatever, what you'll get is, like, if I turn it off here, it gets brighter and darker. It just means people can see more when we're in dark areas of the game. I don't think there's another area of the game that we played this time where it's too dark. I know we go into the jelly shroom forest, but there's enough light there for people to really work out what's going on. So that was a fairly quick edit, actually. What we'll do is we'll just hit save. It is Subnautica 0.027, and then hit export. Hit media. And there's a few things we need to do. So we need to hit Subnautica, find the actual Subnautica render folder. 0.26 is now 0.26. I've been playing Stranded Deep way too much. 027. I use 3 numbers. So it's like 001, 002, and then it doesn't matter. It's just one of those things you get used to. So Subnautica 027. We'll hit save. Output is frame rate is 60 FPS, solid 60 FPS. It is 1920 by 1080, so that's the 16:9 format that this screen, if you remember, is not. Level is 5.1, render at max depth, target bit rate, it's VBR, no, it's a VBR, whatever. VBR is 1012 in terms of megabits per second, and the keyframe distance is 30, which means there's 2 keyframes every second, which is very, very important. I'll hit Q. Oh yeah, did I say render at maximum quality? Because render at maximum quality is definitely selected. Hit Q, and that is going to bring up the Adobe Media Encoder. Good. Eventually, I mean, it's one of those things that does take a long time to load. I really do need a haircut. And I'm just kind of seeing this in my periphery, and it's just like, yeah, you need a haircut, dude. I will hit start, and then just drag that down to the bottom of the screen, and then just close Premiere. Goodbye, Premiere. So Premiere is donezo. We're donezo with that. And now this is just going to sit in the corner of the screen for the next hour or so rendering. So that's episode 27. That will be up today, but this video won't be up until the day after, tomorrow. Because I'm going to need to edit that separately and do a bunch of other things. Wow, this is going to be an interesting vlog. Or maybe it won't be. I don't know. You make up your mind. I'm going to leave it there, though. You'll see the results of that. Nobody needs to see me actually upload it to YouTube, because it's literally just open up YouTube and drag the file into YouTube and then give it a name. Kind of boring at that point. You know what? I'm going to leave it there. So if you are liking this, definitely leave a little like, leave a subscribe. And if you do subscribe, click the bell, because the bell will allow you to see the notifications on the channel. Or it won't, because YouTube sucks. I'll tell you what, I'll catch you later.